right. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we GMS Louisiana Saints coming back at you in another live sit down. All right, but before we get started, we're going to turn around, we're going to face the east, and we're going to give all honor and glory to
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Arakakadah.
All right, give honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that's pushing this truth and sincerity to the four corners of the world. All right, peace and safety.
Shalom, shalom.
Peace and safety as well to the men, women, and children of the hopeful elect that's watching. Okay, and basically, the topic of this video is pretty much not neglecting, the gift that's within you, which is the scriptures and the holy, scriptures, everything that the apostles have taught us, the spirit power of Yahweh Shemi Awashai. All right, and there's a quote, all right, from our Bivens, all right, right here, okay, and it says, in order to be a part of this school, you must have the gift. You must control the mind so that lust will not consume your bodies. And this is the, pretty much the motto that the apostles and the elders have been telling us this whole time. Pretty much just to stay in the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Shai. Doing videos, so forth and so on, building up your spirit, building up your character in this truth. All right, so that way you'll be a testimony to other brothers and other sisters. All right, that's in the coming up into the truth, man. All right.
That's right. Let me get that First Timothy.
Gone.
All right. It's the book of First Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. I'm gonna start at 8. I'm gonna read down for you. Just stop me when you want. It says, "For bodily exercise profited little. Bodily exercise profited little, but godliness is profitable unto all things."
That's right. So bodily exercise profited little, which is working out. For what, man? Exercising your spirit, exercising being around brothers, being around the brotherhood. All right, that is, that is actually greater and being beneficial to you, man, your spirit. All right.
Right. And I just back the brother up because it says bodily exercise profited little. Like the brother was saying, working on your physique, your arms, you buff. All right. You got big calves, you got big biceps, triceps. But when it comes to knowing your nationality, when it comes to knowing the name of the Lord, when it comes to knowing who you truly are, when it comes to knowing your enemy, our people are far from it, man. That's why Apostle Paul was writing these things, man. All right? That's why the Most High put this in the scriptures, because the exercise of spiritual things is what actually profits in the end. We're exercising our mindset on these breakdowns, on our mindset in enduring, on our mindset in the name of the Lord, man. Calling upon it, asking for mercy. We're exercising our spirit because we're preparing ourselves for spiritual power, spiritual bodies, all right? This prophecy to unfold like a red carpet, and we have to be in a certain type of mind frame in order to proceed in this thing. But it says, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is and of that which is to come.
Right. So having promise of the life which is now is, which is the truth, man. All right. You receiving the truth. All right. You having a greater understanding of life. All right. And what comes with that, man. Being a vessel for Yahweh Shemi Awashai, and understanding that that's your whole purpose of being on this earth, man. Is to be that testimony, man, from your particular life. All right.
Verse 9, this is a faithful saying and worthy of all acceptation, Salakia. For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living power, who is the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe.
That's right, man. So we suffer reproach, man. We suffer criticism. We suffer, all kind of things from our people and our family members and our so-called friends that we had in the world. All right, for what this truth said, man. All right, because we've changed our lives for the Lord, man. All right, and now the Lord looks at us, as the enemy, man, because what? The Lord has taken us from the world, man. He has taken us from that worldly mind frame. All right, so what? Now the world hate us just as it hated Yahweh Shai.
Right. I got a quick one backing you up,
Right.
all right? It's the book of Revelation. Let me see where we start at. Slaki, bear with me, Aki. All right? It's in Revelation. Let me get it real quick.
Yeah, man, because the world.
Con got it. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 3. Yahweh Shai speaking. I'm going to start at 2. Revelation 2 and 2. I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. Because ultimately, we're in a society catching hell because we can't stand the things that we see. We can't stand the evils. We can't stand the atrocities that have been done to our people. We can't stand all of this confusion going on, man. So the Lord puts us in these predicaments so that we can be a testament of his word, man. Not of Esau's society, not of Esau's system. But it says, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and has found them liars. That's right, man. And has borne and has patience, and for my name's sake, you see, because we do this thing, we labor, we catch hell, we get strikes and blows and scourges for the Lord's name's sake, not our own, not for Amwaz, not for Wadia, not for GMS Louisiana Saints, but for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. We labor for the Lord's name. So the Lord has different men that he's raised up from across the four corners, laboring in his name, man, and saying it boldly, proclaiming who they're laboring for, man. Not just saying, okay, well, we're going to just speak of the Lord's name in quiet. We're going to hide this thing in secret. Nah, man, we've been as a candle, all right, as a lamp unto the world, man, with this word. But it says, all right, Revelation 2 and 4, nevertheless, and it's backing Amwaz up, you got it right. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love.
That's right, man. So they're against us, man, because what? We left the world, man. We left the world behind us. All right? And what they say, oh, you think you're better than us, so forth and so on, man. All right? Well, through the spirit, man, we left the world for the betterment of ourselves, man. All right, and for those that hear us, man, through the spirit. All right?
Ooh, that's right, brother. Hey, that's right. And we were just going into the overcoming. The brother brought out the Abba Bivens quote, right? Elder Abba Bivens. All right, it's Revelation 3 and 5. It says, he that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. You got it, right?
That's right, man. So the Lord is going to confess, all right, our name, man. He's going to call our name in that day, man. All right, and confess them before the Father because of what, man? We put off this world, man. All right, we harden ourselves, all right, to the words of these people, all right, and said that it didn't matter, all right, and the things that we sacrifice in this world, we put it to the side, man. All right, so therefore, the Lord said that He's going to reward us for those things, man.
Yeah, man.
All right.
And then white raiment goes into the righteousness of the saints, man. Let me get it real quick. All right. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 8. It says, and to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen. You see? Because the Most High, Yahweh Shai, he's that bride, right? Israel is that groom, man. We come together and we make up rulership, leadership, man, when we're joined together. That's why the Lord has joined himself onto Israel, man, because a couple in unity, all right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, his people, his chosen people, that's what? Righteousness, order. That's not toxic, all right? Like Jay loved these toxic relationships, but the relationship between Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and the elected Israel, it's not toxic. It's not confusion, man, all right? It's going to be restored back into its rightful estate. But it says, and to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, because white goes into purity, holiness, man. What the Lord has deemed our people for. It says, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And I'm going to read that in Revelation 5 again. Revelation 3 and 5, Salakia. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my fathers and before his angels. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. You see, Yahushua was rebuking the churches ultimately, and that backs up the brother's point from the beginning, because the Elder Abba Bivens said, what? In this school, you have to have a gift. But ultimately, that school, that's the tabernacle of David. That's the house of David. That's those little sanctuaries that have been scattered throughout the four corners, man. So, yes, man, he was right in that spirit, man. In order to be in this house, in this tabernacle, you have to have that gift, man. You have to have that gift of prophecy, what the brother brought out. All right? And it's that, could you get this word Philadelphia? Because it goes into ultimately, I believe, brotherly love. Let's see. Revelation 3, and verse 7. Revelation 3 and 7. It says, and to the angel of the church in Philadelphia, get that word Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, right? These things said he that is holy, he that is true, he that had the key of David, he that opened and no man shut it, and shut it and no man opened. I know thy works, behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and has not denied my name. You see? So the Most High is going to raise up that tabernacle, man. That's not going to deny his name. That's not going to show that worldly spirit before the eyes of men. We're going to show that bold spirit, man. We're going to show that spirit of a lion, man, of Yahushua. Like it tells you in Genesis 49, 3 and 7. All right?
This is Revelations 3 and 7, going into that definition. All right? And it says...
Let me get this real quick. All right. Revelation 3 and 20 in the same chapter. All right? It says, behold, because what was it talking about? That door, man. All right? I'm going to jump down. I'm going to read Revelation 3 and 7 again. Salaki, verse 8, and I'm going to jump down to 20. It says, I know thy works, behold, I have set before thee an open door. You see? All right? Because the doors of repentance have been opened onto our people, man, to come back into this wisdom, to come back into this knowledge. But there's going to come a time where the doors of repentance are going to close, man. That window is coming into a narrow, small window, man, and it's closing up. Because we see all these prophecies being fulfilled. That's how we know it's closing. But it says, Revelation 3 and 8, I know thy works, behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and has not denied my name. We jump down to 20. That door again, it says, behold, I stand at the door. You see, the Lord gave us an open door. Now the Lord is standing at that door, man. So the Lord is literally saying, hey, I'm here at the door. I've set up prophets in my name across the four corners. All you have to do is open your eyes, man. But ultimately, that opening of the eye, that eye salve, that comes from the Lord. The Lord gives us that, man. It says, verse 20, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. And what's the voice of the Lord, man? The voice of the Lord. What's the voice of the Lord? Tell them real quick.
Is the brotherhood, man. All right? The voice of the Lord is the brothers preaching his word, man.
Right. Right. It's backing the brother up. It's Daniel 9 and 10. You got it, right? Daniel 9 and 10, it says, neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our power to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets.
That's right, man. So the Lord has set up men to teach his word, to give our people guidance, man, to give us guidance on, how to go about doing things, man, how to serve the Lord, how to please the Lord. All right, what the Lord looks for when he looks at us, man, through the Spirit.
That's right. Hey, got you another quick one. It's Amos 3 and 7. It says, surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. You got it.
That's right. So the secrets is pertaining to, the things that the Lord has given our apostles, man, on down to their apostles and their elders. All right, of what? Us, how to be men, man. That's another big topic that we were speaking about this week when we linked up with the brotherhood, man. All right, being men. All right, being brotherly, man. All right, not being of the world, man. All right. So all of these things that we're learning, all right, we're becoming a new man. All right, becoming a new creature.
All right. Right. Back in Revelation, the 3rd chapter, verse 20, it says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. To him that overcome it, will I grant to sit with me in my throne. You see, because earlier it said his name will not be blotted out of the book of life. So that's ultimately things that we're rewarded with by staying firm, by staying truth, man. Staying firm in this truth, man. Because something that's built, something that's firm, something that's been that like they say, this is a grassroots organization, man. We haven't been funded for this. The Lord spiritually did this, man. This is from the ground up, from the spirit, man. Literally from the ground. Adam, man. From Yahushua, man. So this is from the ground up, roots up, man. Esau couldn't have performed the work and a miracle like this on the planet Earth, man. All the miracles Esau is performing is to deceive our people onto subjecting themselves into their charagma, man. But it says, Revelation 3:22, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches, man. The brother's about to get that word in one of the churches in Philadelphia. Go ahead, huh?
All right, and this is the definition of Philadelphia. It says brotherly love.
Brotherly love, you see? So that's why the Lord was mentioning it, man. Because of that brotherly love, man. And that brotherly love, what does beloved mean? Dawadah. David, man. Because we're the house of David, man. So that beloved goes into, that composes and is a compilation of our nation, man. Go ahead, bro. You got your precept.
Right.
Just tell me which one you want, and I'll get it for you. It's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6. It says, wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, which is in thee by the putting on of my hands. Ooh.
That's right. So Yahushai put his hands on us.
That's right.
And gave us that spirit of prophecy, that spirit, his spirit, man. All right, of what? Showing brotherly love. All right, the different things that it tells us in the Bible, man. The different.
Through Yahushua, right?
Yeah, through Yahushua.
Ooh, that's right, brother.
That's right.
Hey, I got a beautiful precept for you, backing you up. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 8, verse 12, because you was going into, brother Amwaz was going into how that basically that Levitical priesthood was transferred into that way. After the order of Melchizedek, man, with Yahushua. So ultimately, all right, you had certain Levites that would lay hands, all right, do certain things to sacrifice, right, to lay up our sacrifice. But ultimately now, it's after the order of Melchizedek, which is Yahushua, man, through faith, through grace, right? So that's all changed. But ultimately, from the elders, I'm gonna get that precept of 1 Timothy as well, man. The laying on the hands of the presbytery, the elders from the elders on down, man. All right, they've laid their hands on us and helped move and grow that foundation and that groundwork through the carpentry of this ministry. But it says, the book of Numbers, chapter 8, verse 12, it says, and the Levites shall lay their hands upon the heads of the bullocks, and thou shalt offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering unto the Lord to make an atonement for the Levites, right? So ultimately that was the process of our sacrifice that we laid up unto the Lord for sin, man. But now we have the laying on the hands of the presbytery, man. I'm gonna get it real quick, guys. It's the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 14. You can get that word presbytery just to go into it. It says, 1 Timothy 4:14, back into it, it says, neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, right? The oracles, this knowledge, this truth, it was given unto us. So now, the gift that the Lord has worked throughout the earth, you see men in London, you see men in the UK, you see men in Rome, Italy, you see men in Virgin Islands, Suriname, man. All right? All across the four corners, here in America, man. What the Lord said, what? Judah and Israel will be oppressed together in the neck of the enemy, man. So here in America, you see the Lord working that marvelous work, man. But all throughout the four corners, you see men, but they're calling upon the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So how is that a coincidence, Esau? All right? You don't have medical doctors in America, China, these places, all calling upon the name of the same power, man. You can't work that work, Esau. You can't receive that credit of the architecture, Esau, or the king of peace, Esau, or the faithful counselor, Esau. That doesn't reside in your characteristic bank, Esau. Only Yahushua can obtain those goals, man. But it says, you got it out? 1 Timothy 4:14. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery, man. So the elders laid hands on us, man, through the Spirit of the Lord, man. Starting with Abba Bivens, like the brother said, after those 3.5 days, that 350-year period, from 1619 up around to 1969, Salakia, right? Which you had, he went to the moon in 1969. Esau proclaiming that he went to the moon, all right? You had all type of knowledge just being coming back on the scene, man. That's a clue sign to tell you that the Lord put spirits on certain men to prophesy in his name, to prophesy his word, man, to get the ball rolling, like Jake likes to say, right? But it says, by the laying on the hands of the presbytery, you see? So it went from the Levitical priesthood to the after the order of the Melchizedek. I'm going to get that real quick. You got it, all right?
God. And this is the definition of presbytery. All right, it says body of elders.
Ooh, break it down, huh?
God, it says of the elders of any body. All right, so again the elders, all right, what preach the word, man. All right, in the spirit, what move brothers. All right, to what preach the word, man, to get the word out there. All right, to other brothers. All right, which ultimately built up, this house, man. All right, the house of David, man, which is this spiritual temple that we're building right now, man. All right, and by people hearing this word, they be brought in, man. All right, and well, men, So let's see here.
God, you got some more on that? Right. Well, hold on. It says Israelite or Christian, right? Presbyterian. So that just shows you that ultimately the elders are Israelites, man. Yeah. All right. But it says, this is the book of Hebrews chapter 7, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, and as I may so say, Levi also, who received tithes, paid tithes in Abraham. Okay. Now, how did they pay tithes in Abraham? It's gonna tell us. It says, for he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. So the Levitical priesthood, all right, Yahushua was set up before the Levitical priesthood, all right? So ultimately, it says, let's get it one more time, Hebrews 7:11, so we get this thoroughly. It says, for he was yet in the loins of his father, talking about Levi, when Melchizedek met him, all right? When Melchizedek met him, talking about Abraham. So the Lord had already set up, we know, a priesthood, man, all right, which was spiritual, because when you go into the book of Genesis, all right, up into Genesis 1, 2, 3, 4, all right, and so on and so forth, it tells you that the Lord put the spirit on certain righteous men to have that sacrifice and naturally doing it, man, through the spirit. So that's what we're doing in these latter days, man. We're naturally doing this through faith, man. It's a faith-based thing, man. All right, but it says, verse 10, for he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. So the priesthood was already set up before the Levitical priesthood. Genesis 4th chapter, the 5th chapter, 9th chapter. It shows how sacrifices were already made ultimately before the Levitical priesthood was set up. But it says, verse 11, if therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, right? So that tells you that what? Ultimately, perfection wasn't by the Levitical priesthood. Perfection was by Yahushua laying his blood down, his life down. That's how we're made perfect, man. All right? But do we make void the law and just cast the law off? No, man. We're not brute beasts. That's our order at the end of the day, man. But at the end of the day, we're in a captivity where we can perform our order in a certain sense, man. That's why the Lord said we're rehearsing the righteous acts here in America, man. We can't go and establish full-fledged in our order down to a T, man. And that's what the Lord ultimately wants for us to establish our order down to a T and carry it out, man. And that's what we're going to do in the kingdom of heaven. But it says, you want to say something, brother? You got it. You got it.
You got any more?
Oh, yeah, I got some more. It says, Hebrews 7:11, if therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under the Levitical priesthood, the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron? Because you see, after the order of Aaron was the Levitical priesthood, right? Sacrifices, the laying on the hands of bullocks, all right, dove, turtle dove, and things like that, right? So it was made perfect after the order of Melchizedek, which is Yahushua. But it says, the latter end is going to explain it. It says, what further need was there that another priest, who's that other priest, man? Speak to him boldly, y'all. That's right, brother.
That's right.
So it says, what further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron, man? Right. So ultimately, Jake tries to be perfect in the law and that mentality. Okay, but the Lord said we have certain restraints here in America, man. But the Lord is looking for those men that ultimately doing what? Putting their best foot forward in their faith, man, in the truth. Get that on the Psalms. It says let me get it real quick. I'm gonna tell you what it said. Salakia, Proverbs 24:16. But I'm gonna read down this Hebrews 7 in the latter end. What further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron? Because Jake tries to be perfect in the law. The mentality is to what? Keep the law perfectly, right? But we saved through grace and Yahushua, man. And Aaron, he's a chief high priest as well, man. So ultimately, that's the chiefest of the Levites, all right? And you got Yahushua ultimately taking that place, man. Right? Go ahead, bro.
Want me to read this?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is Proverbs 24. And let's see, 16, it says, for a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again.
Right, a just man. So ultimately, we're in a society, we're trying to be just, right? Aren't we, Akim? We're trying to be just in this society. We're trying to make it out. We're trying to be righteous. We're not trying to be evil or of this world, man. So a just man is going to fall, but at 7, when you go into that word 7, it says an indefinite amount, meaning the Lord determines how much that 7 is, right? So the Lord is going to determine how much we fall down and get up. But are you going to fall down and get up and be an Egyptologist? Or are you going to fall down and get up and be a Buddhist or an atheist? Or are you going to fall down and get up and keep proclaiming the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Keep calling upon the word, man. That's the difference. Some people fall down and say, hey, man, I'm giving up on the truth. This wasn't for me. All right. I'm Kimmy. All right. I'm finna grow some dreads and that. Y'all talking about nuclear missiles? It's easier, man. Yeah. But the straight gate, all right, the narrow gate leads to life. The broad gate, where everybody else is taking, that's gonna lead you down to a rabbit hole of destruction, man.
Yeah, that's why a lot of
you got it, bro.
That's why a lot of people are not doing this, man. It's difficult, man. It's a difficult road, man. But we can do all things through Yahweh by Shem Yahushua who strengthen us, man. That's why we gotta continue to just keep on doing, man. Just praying to the Lord, man. That He help us throughout our journey, man. All of our journey, our brothers. We pray for brothers. We pray for brothers all over the world, man. That have subscribed to the same doctrine as us, man. All right.
Right. That was it on that. Get Romans 5 from the top out. It's Hebrews 7 and 12. It says, for the priesthood being changed, there's made up. See, the priesthood went from what? The Levitical priesthood to after the order of Melchizedek, because it tells you that Melchizedek had no earthly father or mother, because his registry, he was registered in the heavens, man. So ultimately, we can't go back on this side and say, well, okay, well, I can track my record back to the Levitical priesthood. I'm supposed to be in this office. I'm supposed to be in that office, because when they built the temple, all right, again, after the decree of Cyrus, all right, they went to the track records and said, well, okay, well, do you have right to this? Do you have right to take part in this temple building? Do you have right to hold this priesthood, this office, right? But ultimately, we're after the order of Melchizedek, because now we're doing it by faith. Now we're doing this thing through the Spirit now, man. All right? We can't necessarily say, okay, well, I'm wise. I'm going to go and track my record all the way down back from Jerusalem to track that I'm from the line of Aaron. No, we have faith that we are, man. That's what makes this battle even harder. But it says, verse 13, the last, it says, for he of whom these things are spoken pertaining to another tribe, of which no man gave attendance at the altar. Speaking of the tribe of Judah, man. You got it out.
All right. This is Romans 5 and 1. It says, this is Romans 5 and 1. God, it says, wherefore wherefore being justified by faith,
Break it down.
it says we have peace with Yahweh through our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. It says, wherefore being justified by faith, we have peace with Yahweh through our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, man. So through Yahushua, man, we have peace, man. All right, we have peace of mind. All right, we have understanding. We have a clear mind, man. All right, and we're justified by faith, man. All right, so our faith in Yahushua by our works, man, by doing the works, all right, of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is, keeping the Sabbath, keeping the dietary laws, all right, doing all these things, man, keeping the high holy days, man. We're showing our faith to the Lord, man. All right, we're showing, that diligence, man. All right, and it says, verse 2, let me go down to verse 2 now.
We'll see what you read.
Oh, yeah, verse 1.
Yeah. Read the whole thing.
All right, it says, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of our glory of Yahweh. All right, so wherein by faith we have faith. All right, into this grace wherein we stand. All right, and rejoice in hope. All right, of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, man. So through the things that we do, man, we have faith and hope that we're gonna be able to obtain what? The kingdom, man.
That's
obtain
right.
The crown.
That's right.
Right? And be able to diligently continue in this faith until the end.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. It says, not only so, but we glorify in tribulation also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, man. So we go through different trials and tribulations, just like the brother was just not going through, man. Are we gonna fall back into the world?
Right,
all right,
right.
Of the things of this world, whether it be different religions or whether it just be the different philosophies of the world. Because the world is easy to go back to the world, man. It's easy because the world holds no responsibilities, man. But this truth, man, it holds you accountable. It holds you, of being a man, man. All right, and examine yourself. Different things like that, man. All right. So let's see what else it does. It says, and patient experience hope, man. All right. So patience worketh all things, man. And we gain experience in the truth. All right. You know how to handle certain situations. All right. You know how to go about certain things. How to deal with brothers. So forth and so on, man. How to deal within the world. All right. So when these different tribulations come or trials come, you know how to handle it. All right.
Right. I got to quote this Romans 3:30. Seeing it is one power, which shall justify the circumcision by faith and uncircumcision through faith, man. You see? So we're justified by faith, man. That's the hard part about this. It's easy to say, okay, well, I can track my record and I can go back to the Levitical priesthood. I know my generations are of that lineage. But when you have to go without, and then now through faith, you have to believe in that, man. Come on, man. That's why all the things happening around us like this, because there's a mass and innumerable amount of faith being shown by the elect, man. That's why the angels marvel at us, man. The angels are not just gonna marvel at, all right, us in these in these corruptible terrestrial bodies for no reason, man. We got to be doing something special, man. We're doing that special thing through faith. But it says, verse 31, do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law, because ultimately we're saying that what? We're establishing the law through our faith by doing what? Saying, okay, well, we know we can't do certain things through the law, but through faith, we believe in it, all right? Through faith, we know these things are acceptable, and this is the conduct that we should be in. So we don't make void the law, man. We're examples of the law through faith, man. You got it, right? Yes, yeah, man, we're examples of the law through faith. That's why the Lord said He's gonna make us pillars in the temple, man. Because when you look at a pillar is an example of how great that house is, of how great condition that substance is, man. That building, that temple, man. So if you're called a pillar, you're worthy, man. We're worthy on this side, man. We gotta look at ourselves in the mirror and stop beating each other down, man. Stop beating ourselves down, man. Because slavery, Esau puts such a yoke around our neck that it makes us think that we're just ain't shit individuals, man. And ain't shit nation of people, man. But we're the Lord's chosen people, man. We got to act on it, man. No matter how we feel, no matter how we look, man, on this side, man. The Lord is going to exalt us in due time, man. If we believe. Go ahead, brother. 4:10. It's the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 10. For therefore we labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living power, who is the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe. These things command and teach. Keep going. That's what I meant. All right. Yeah. 2 Timothy 1. 1 Peter. You said Timothy. All right. It's 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 10. And it reads, as every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of the Most High.
That's right. So every man received the gift. What we're supposed to be examples, all right, as a whole to the body and those who come into the truth, man.
Yep.
All right. And just this week, man, we went to fellowship with the brothers out there in BR and New Orleans, man. Shalom to you brothers. All right. And it was a beautiful thing, man. And it uplifted me, man. All right, it uplifted me, pretty much we were going over being a man. We was pretty much going over, just the brotherhood, man. Just being around brothers, man. And that gave me a spiritual charge, man. All right. To want to, go hard for the truth, man. All right. Because we at the end of this thing, man. And brothers are great examples, man. All right. So, yeah, man.
Right. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 12, because it was talking about, let me read that again. It's 1 Peter 4 and 10. It says, as every man had received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of gift, because we all have different gifts. All right. Let's get it real quick. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. It says, now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Ye know that you were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led. Yeah, we were carried away unto these dumb idols, thinking that this statue had power, this statue of wood had power, this statue of gold had power. Israel has been in that state of mind for captivity after captivity after captivity, thinking and beholding on the strongholds and the craft of these other nations and believing onto them, man. Believing that they have power and value out of it, but they're just dumb idols. But it says, ye know that you were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. Wherefore I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, call it Yahushai cursed. And that no man can say that Yahushai is the Lord, but by the Holy Ghost. That's right. So the Spirit got to be dwelling with you for you to be in that mindset of willing to accept that Yahushai is the Lord, man. That's why we go out and we preach the word, hoping that the lost sheep could come forth from out of this place, man. All right? Because it's only a certain group of men that are going to click with this thing, going to be on that vibration, man. So every time we go out, we're searching for those men, and we rejoice when we find one, man. All right? So this brother, another brother, they come into the truth. We're rejoicing upon that, man. The heavens are rejoicing upon that. So we got to take that mindset and roll with it and run with it and live in the flesh by it, man. Knowing that the angels are rejoicing, they carrying us on. They saying, hey, go cheer. Like when you running the marathon, right?
Yeah.
They got checkpoints in the marathon where people give you water, right? They help you on along the way, give you encouragement. Hey, grab this water. You see people that's racing on the marathon, they'll grab a cup of water and drink it and keep running, man. That's what we do, man. We get spiritual waters, faith boosters, and things the Lord puts in front of us to keep us motivated. 1 Corinthians 12 and 3, verse 4, it says, now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are differences of ministrations, but the same Lord. There are diversities of operations, but it is the same power which worketh all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit with all. So this brother had the Spirit of the Lord. I have the Spirit of the Lord, Abaratazah. The apostles on down to the least of us across the four corners. We have the Spirit within us, and it profits in each and every one of us. Because the Spirit is not just going to be of confusion and of unprofitability, man. It's going to actually be successful and prudent, man, and careful. And how they say when something is profitable, basically profitable, man. All right, with substance. Go ahead, huh? What you want me to get for you? Let's see. Got some more? Yeah, because ultimately, all right, every man has been given a specific gift so they can do what? Please the Lord. Brothers have gifts of tongues. Brothers are teachers. Brothers have gifts of the Lashawan Kodash, all right? Speaking different languages, interpreters, right? But that same spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is on them. So therefore, you see a brother in London, you see a brother in Rome, Italy, Suriname, all right? They have different gifts. Even brothers in the Americas, man, so-called Americas, right? We have different gifts, but all of our gifts are soothing and pleasing unto the Lord, man. Go ahead with yours, huh?
All right. Just going into the second half of it. You said,
speak up, man.
Going into the second part of what the elder had said, he said, you must control the mind.
Talking about the elder Abba Bibi.
Go ahead. It says, you must control the mind so that the lust will not consume your bodies. All right. And pretty much going into, we must continue to meditate on these scriptures so that what? You don't fall out of the truth, man. All right. So we're going to get Ephesians 6 and 12. And it says,
I get it for you. I'm speaking, bro.
All right.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. And it reads, all right, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Hey, let me just say something on that, huh? Because you got to get all the meat off the bone, brother. All right? Esau, what does he do? He moves behind the scene. You got his nanotech. You got his charagma. All right? You got his deception that he puts upon the planet of the earth that tells people in the society, oh, well, this is the Most High. Look at all his capabilities. Look at all his power. Look at his technology. Look at how he controls the society. That might be the Most High. No, man, those are left-handed miracles, man. So we wrestle against them on a day. We wake up and wrestle against them, against the unseen, man. All right? But just as the unseen, we wrestle against it because the Lord deals with the unseen, man. He don't deal with the things that are seen to the so-called naked eye, man. He deals with spiritual things, man. So we know our power is backed by our power is spiritual as well as our enemy, man. We wrestle against principalities. You got it, right? I'm gonna keep reading. It says, therefore, take you onto the whole armor of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand.
So, as the brother was saying in the first, he said, we wrestle against flesh and blood, man. We wrestle against the spiritual demon Satan, man. All right, so that what he seeketh to try to sift us out of the truth, man. By the different things that the brother just now mentioned, man, which was the world, all right, the charagma, these different treats that Esau tried to set up for us, all right, to try to lure us in, man. All right. So these are the things that we face in the world and in the flesh, all right, that tempt us, man, to go back into the world, man. But as the elder Abba Bivin said, man, we got to continue to stay into the spirit so that way we don't be persuaded by those things, man. All right, we need to have assurance in our minds that this is the truth, man. All right, that there is no other way but this way, man. All right, and that, as the scriptures say, never trust thy enemy, man. All right, that's pretty much it on that one.
Yeah, you gotta break it down. 1 Corinthians 9 and 27. But I keep under my body. I'm gonna start at 22. It says, to the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. Apostle Paul speaking. It says, I am made all things to all men, that I might be all means, that I might by all means save some.
Yeah, so by all means may save some, man. All right, meaning that we may save those that hear the gospel of the truth, man. All right, the gospel of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man. That they come from out of those different lots of the world, man, and into the truth. All right.
Yeah, and if I could just say, because it says, to the weak became I as weak. So you see brothers on certain levels. You see brothers dealing with certain things in the world. There's a certain thing that's called what? What's that word? It's called coping, man. Spiritually coping, right? Spiritually comprehending what a brother is going into. All right, like the Apostle Paul did, says, to the weak became I as weak. You got brothers in certain circumstances. You got to get down with that brother as if you're in that certain circumstance, man, to gain that brother. All right, a brother might be going through something in the body, certain ailments. Brother might be going through something financially. You got to put yourself in that brother's shoes to gain that brother. There's nothing wrong with that, man. All right, fight with the enemy to that brother, like the Lord is doing, man. But it says that I might gain the weak. I am made all things all men, that I might by all means save some. So the Lord was dealing with Apostle Paul, he was dealing with Peter, he was dealing with the apostles, man. All right, so he put them in certain circumstances that they might gain some, because you're not going to gain all of them. That's why the Lord have us built up in that mindset and have us with the words we speak as sharp as we are, because we put ourselves in certain circumstances when people come up on the highways that we might gain them. We're not going to gain all of them. We might gain some, though. We might gain the lost sheep, though, man. Lord willing. That's why we keep that mindset, trying to perfect ourselves for the Lord. But it says, and this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. See, so we deal with certain circumstances that we can say, okay, well, I've been through that before. I dealt with that with the brother Amwaz. I dealt with that with this brother, that brother, that brother. So we can be experienced, man, in this thing. All right? It says, know ye not that ye which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, so run that ye may obtain. And every man that strive for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we are incorruptible, man, because we want to be striving for that mastery always. Yeah, we might fall short, but when we get back up and dust ourselves off, we're gonna jump and strive for the mastery again. We might fall, we might, hey, just had it in my grips and slipped right out of my grips. Back up again, jump, strive for the mastery again, man. In the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man, you can't go jump, fall, and say, oh man, I'm going to get a degree now. Hey man, this work for me. Nah, man. You gotta stand on that solid foundation, which is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man. It says, but I keep under my body, or Salakia. It's for you, verse 26. 1 Corinthians 9:26. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, because we don't run like a chicken with their neck cut off. We run certainly knowing that, hey, ultimately we're going to get that prize. We're laboring to see Yahweh Shah, man. All right? One day, and that day is soon. But it says, I therefore so run not as uncertainly, so fight I not as one that beateth the air, because one that beateth the air doesn't have a cause, man. You have no purpose. We're fighting, but we have a purpose ahead of us, man. A goal, a common denominator. But it says, verse 27, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
That's right, man. So
can I get that word subjection?
Well,
on your phone? Yeah. I'm gonna read it one more time. You can break it down when I get the word for you. It's 1 Corinthians 9:27. It says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I should myself be a castaway.
That's right, man. So we sacrifice ourselves to preach this truth, man. All right. That's the whole goal of this truth, is to preach this word. All right. Which I got a precept right here. All right. We preach this word that what? That we may try to save those that hear this word, man. All right. To draw them in, man. All right,
Right.
to tell them that we go through the same situations that they go through, man. All
Right.
All right. You want to get that before I get this?
Yes, that word subjection. It's that word subjection. It says to lead away into slavery, claim as one slave, and ultimately we're slaves of Yahweh Shem Yahushua through the Spirit, man. All right, we're indebted to the Lord, man. We have a debt to pay unto the Lord, man. So yes, we're slaves in America, corporate, but ultimately we're prisoners of hope. We're prisoners of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, like Apostle Paul said. But it says to make a slave and to treat as a slave with severity, subject to stern and rigid discipline. You see? So we're subject to stern and rigid discipline, man, under Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But we have faith that all this discipline, all this subjection is going to lead to us being free, man. You got it, man.
All right, this is 1 Timothy 4:15. It says, meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and to the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. All right, and that's the whole goal of us, man, is to work on ourselves, all right, and be the best man that we can be for Yahweh Shai, and as well as, being those examples to those who hear the word, so that what they may save themselves as well, and follow the doctrine of the Lord, man. All right. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. All right, we're gonna face the east, and we're gonna give all honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Arakah.
All right, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and sincerity to the four corners of the world. And peace and safety as well to the men, women, and children of the hopeful elect. All right, until the next time, we're going to say Shalom.
Baba Bob. Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala.
Shalom.
Shalom, Akim.
Until next time.